Hello everybody, hope you're doing well and welcome back to the channel. We have got the MCN for today. There's not a huge amount going on, but there are some important things to mention. So buckle up. We start with glitches. As a lot, you know, there are a lot of problems, glitches with the game at the moment, whether or not it's the dark screen or the completely, just I'd say dark fighting of champions in incursions. You also have got a potential group problem. Now, I don't know if this is specific content, devices, etc. But this has been quite funny to see a Deathless Groot. So, yeah, that's the joke at the moment. It's like, Mom, can we have Deathless Groot? No, we already have Deathless Groot at home. Deathless Groot is at home, and he's there. That's it. That's a funny glitch at the moment. Will Kabam sort it out? Only time will tell. Now we move on to WoW. World of Warcraft. No. Marvel Contest of Champions. Winter of Woe. For a moment I was thinking, what do they call it? Because I just want to call it World of Warcraft because everyone calls it WoW. But not, you know, Owen Wilson kind of like, wow. But kind of like, yeah, Winter of Woe. The Winter of Woe has been a divisive piece of content. Whether or not it's, you know, the fact of energy spend is a bit high. It is very much frustrating. If you for a day want to prioritize yourself to get the perfect run, it is going to cost you a lot of energy. Now, Kabam Mike does kind of put this in a perspective that you may understand, disagree, agree with. There's been some follow-up stuff that I just want to kind of go over, like in the question of it doesn't address the fact that they acknowledge regeneration is too much. Add heal block, something, it doesn't seem to like enough to me. That eliminates the healing completely, which is still part of the challenge. Yes, it's harder than we might like, but it's not impossible. And the point of the content is to be hard and to make you explore the depths of your roster for the right counters. That is part of Absorbing Man, and for the most part, that's what we're more worried about is how he'll be in the gauntlet when you can't bring counter for just him and have to worry about the whole quest. Yes, Kabam, as I say, would like you to spend your units on revives and health potions in order to get through said content. But also, they'd like you to spend your units on energy refills, because that's always a thing, rather than using in other pieces of content, like Battlegrounds, where it requires energy. Or Elder Marks, but let's face it, a lot of the time players are opting to use energy to the situation. But it was interesting because obviously Dr. Zola said easier to explore the depths of my roster if it doesn't cost me 10 energy each time. And yeah, that's the thing. Experimentation is key. You know, it's nice to do that and as well, you know, test out the energy. Yeah, without it being costing too much to you. Kabam might respond saying it would, but we're not trying to make things easy in what is meant to be an endgame content. Like Necropolis, which is endgame content and costs 1 energy per tile. Like Eternity of Pain, which is endgame content and costs 1 energy per tile. Not like story mode content, which is now up to Act 8.3 and will be Act 8.4 soon and costs 3 energy per tile. You can get 7 runs in every time your energy is full, and if you do that just once per day, that is up to 98 attempts, if you so choose to do it. Do you know what? I've blocked out a lot of time where I've thought to myself, you know, sleep. Sleep's important, isn't it? Well, I'm not planning to. I'm not planning to sleep for. I'm not planning to sleep in the 24 hours I'm existing in that particular day. Or obviously the joke is that, you know, I'm not planning to sleep for 8 hours, 6 hours, even 5. What? I'm planning not to sleep, and I'm going to be doing my runs on repeat to try and experiment with new champions. That's what I'm going to do. That's what Kabam advised. Follow Kabam's advice. Kabam say don't have any sleep. Not my words. Not my words. Kabam's. Again, let that sink in. That's a joke, by the way, but it's like it does feel like that with this. With saying something like that. Ah, dear. I mean, like, on a positive side of things, well, no, I would say on positive. I hope Kabam learn lessons from this. I don't think they will. I don't think they will. You'd like to hope they would, but In any case, what's everyone's thoughts on this as well? Kind of going a bit kind of like more on this. Go to the, I'll put a link in the description if you want to check out any more details on this. But it just made me laugh. I thought I had to share this because it was a funny read with that. Lots of stuff from the community on the matter. And you're all right. And now we move on to an update on that objective situation. Of course, the update on the Winter of Woe is that there would be this additional objective or kind of like point of view. Once you've done, you're able to skip 2 other objectives, but we haven't had any kind of like full clarification until now. So this was out on Friday. The command said that summoners, we noticed we missed out on a piece of information earlier that we wanted to make sure we include. Currently, we have planned for both Paragon and Valiant players 1 grace point with each season of the new endgame content. That's interesting. 1 grace point. This grace point comes from a 3rd Paragon objective that will be included with one of the regular live for 2 weeks quests each season, and will require that summoner to use one of the previously released 7-star Deathless Champions. The first objective will require the use of a 7-star Guillotine Deathless. This is optional, so anybody that does not have a 7-star Guillotine Deathless will not miss out on the mandatory points, but choosing to do this objective will allow you to skip a later objective. So I need to reread this again in a second. This means that any summoners that will have completed the hashtag robots objective for quest 1 and have access to a 7-star Guillotine Deathless and finish that objective when it's available can skip 2 other objectives. So this is a bit kind of like confusing because I kind of look at this going, well, does that now... What is going on with that? Is that now updated in the objectives themselves to say that if you do the hashtag robots with a Guillotine Deathless, that you've actually done it? I have to load up my game because I haven't done that in time. But yeah, it's kind of like weird how this reads, because you kind of go like, well, that wasn't in the objectives, but will that be something in kind of later times? Okay, I've got to reread this again because it's like a case of like, it's slightly confusing. There'll be 1 grace point with each season of the new endgame content. The grace point comes from a 3rd Paragon objective that will be included with one of the regular live for 2-week quests. So I want to say that it hasn't gone live yet in the current scheme of things. Like, will this be in the next one or the one after? That again is the question for this. Of course, at this time in game, it doesn't actually say on that, and of course for this one, it does say that under this banner. This means any summoners that have completed the hashtag robots objective quest 1 and have access to a 7-star Guillotine Deathless and finish the objective when it's available can skip 2 other objectives. So yeah, this is why it's confusing, because it's like, okay, well, how do we know that that's actually going to be a thing? How do we... Because it doesn't say. All it says on there is that do it with a tagged robot. Any summoners that completed the hashtag robots objective and have access to a 7-star Deathless Guillotine. So like, is it a case of even? So are they saying that if I go now out to do the Deathless Guillotine bit, get the champion, and then without using the champion, do it, but because it's on my team, I necessarily get it? Like, I think Kabam need to clarify what they mean by this. If they say have access, then should they say like I've got it in roster? I don't know. I think there's kind of like a level of kind of like clarity that might need to be put in it. Anyway, that's again something that needs to be kind of clarified a bit more. Yeah, I think there's a difference in like what people are understanding. Some are understanding it in the way that I've just read it, but then other people are looking at it saying like no one is doing abs with Deathless Guillotine, as it's not even an objective. That post is saying one of the future fights will have an objective using Deathless Guillotine, unless they're obviously referring it to like, yeah. So basically it could be something like that. I'm not going to say it is or isn't. It's just kind of like, you know, seems to come across that particular way. Now we move on to, well, today is the day for the loyalty store update. Whether or not it's to potion, I think it's for potions, isn't it? Like some changes are coming in. If you saw the video that I put out on Saturday about this, the command have said that as previously mentioned, we had a plan to implement a loyalty potion update. This was meant to happen on February 6th. We ran into an unexpected issue that resulted in the update being delayed. We recognise this has negatively impacted summoners and their alliances. As a result, you know, you got the tier 5 8x8 of the health potions, single health potions, to use an alliance war, because Kabam are nice like that. The new target to implement for the loyalty store is today. So yeah, today is the update for the store. We'll check it out maybe a little bit later on. If there's anything noteworthy to talk about, then of course we will do. And it just depends on like what's the changes. I probably will try and get some screenshots of the pre and post, just to kind of get an idea if there's any worth to dissect them. But I'll have to take it from there. Fingers crossed it is a good update. Fingers crossed it's better, and also puts in line stuff that improves the top end and the bottom end of people in Alliance War, and how competitive they are. So, you know, giving opportunity for shards and also loyalty spending fairly in different areas. And finally, we end the show on the Shang-Chi and as well the Photon Arenas. Let's see what they went for. Got Shang-Chi, that's fine. So we'll just focus our attention on Photon. As you can see, the results, 41 mil was enough to put the position at 71. And then you go down a little bit more to at least 35.7 mil, putting 122nd position. And right down towards the business end of 351, getting close to that endpoint, 24.6 mil. So I'm going with a prediction of 25 mil for round 2 of Photon 6-star, and for 5-star version, 12 mil. I think it probably went a little bit less than that 12 mil threshold of 1% to 5%, but you never really know nowadays with Arena. Some crazy things happen, some less than crazy things happen. But that's been the video. Thank you very much for watching today, and look forward to more content coming very soon. Much love, have a great day, and bye-bye for now.